The motivation for me actually to run initially, while I worked in social services field for a long time, I worked with trying to make sure that there were services and programs available to people who needed a hand up out of poverty, out of situations that were beyond their control. And in my travels on doing that, it was first and foremost, I worked on other people's campaigns, right, to get them elected, because I thought that was really important to have representation. I worked on a lot of women's campaigns because I think it's important to have women's voices. And then in 2004, in the state of Ohio, there was a ballot measure that was declaring that marriage was between a man and a woman, and that it was going to be embedded into our state's constitution. Now, I had two problems with that. One was, I don't like it when we embed things into the state's constitution, because once in there, it's really tough to get out. That's one thing. And I think we should be very careful about what we're putting into that constitution. The other part of my problem with it, of course, was that basically it embedded into the state's constitution discrimination against gay and lesbian couples, and said that they could not have a legitimate legal marriage in the state of Ohio. And sadly, that statute still sits on the books in the state's constitution. We had, my partner and I have raised two children. We had a lot of friends that decided that if that was the case, they were going to leave the state of Ohio. They didn't want to live in a place that discriminated against them. And frankly, a lot of the couples that we knew that had children were very fearful that first they would come for our marriages, and the second thing they would come for is our ability to be parents, and either outlaw adoption in the LGBT community, or we didn't know what. So many of our friends left. We sat down and had a conversation. Leaving wasn't an option for me or my family. It was not what we wanted to do. And so I decided to stay. But then I also decided that if I was going to stay, I was also going to fight. Because, and it was my equivalent of nobody puts baby in the corner, and you have to look the reference up. But it was basically, nobody tells me I'm a second-class citizen. How dare they? And how dare they tell the members of the LGBT community that somehow we're less than, that we don't deserve the same rights as the mainstream community. I was outraged. I was angry. And I decided that my way to fight back was to run for office.